Well, let's tap into all that experience, but I want to start in a non-AI conversation
hmm
because to take a customer support organization into the world of AI and what it can do and the kind of value that it can provide back to the organization is tremendous. But I think we need to start with kind of the where in general are we seen as an organization? In a lot of places, we're kind of seen as a support center. We're seen as a cost center to be
Right.
contained. If the C-suite is looking as one of the biggest cost, sources on the spreadsheet, then the KPIs that tend to come down and how we're judged are on containment, not expansion. And what you're talking about is a quite dramatic expansion of the capabilities of the support department. So I'd love to have you start talking about how we break free from these kind of preconceived notions to get started.
Yeah, sure. Great point. I think to your point, historically, most of my career support has been thought of absolutely as a cost center, a cost of doing business, right? You've got to be able to provide support of any product, regardless if it's consumer or B2B. I think with the launch or the public launch of ChatGPT, almost 3 years ago, right, that changed the whole equation. I never forget a few months after it went live when I was at Roku, our CEO, the first thing he said was, wow, the first thing we can do here is really automate and simplify support, which was really exciting, but very scary at the same time when you, as a support leader, know the historic kind of situation of candidly lacking investment in the foundational layer of the data that's required to make AI work. So today, what I'm starting to find is we as support across the ecosystem or across the marketplace, I think, have a different level of engagement seat at the table because we are, as I mentioned earlier, in a place where we're able to start leading the business and how we actually use this technology. And most C-suites and boards are incredibly obsessed right now with how do you harness this technology to create efficiencies. And ideally, as a CX leader, right, I want to think about how do we change the game with how customers engage with a brand, right? And how do we turn support from just a cost center into a revenue center? How do we create and drive revenue? One of the things we're thinking about right now that we'll be working on later this year and likely early next year is how do we change our premium support models with this AI to be able to leverage and get more out of the people that we already have by handling those very transactional, simple password and access type questions with technology, and then having people providing higher levels of support. The seat at the table is really expanding now, and that's exciting.